Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, you're welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for tuning in. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to cut and sew a Queen Anne neckline. I want you to watch this video to the end because I'm going to be sharing tips and tricks on how to achieve a perfect Queen Anne neckline. So let's dive in. First, I'll start with my horizontal lines, which I'll be starting with the length of my half length. Okay, this tutorial is going to be beginners friendly because I'm going to be explaining it with so much of simplicity. All right, so now I'm drafting the half length. So my half length is 15.5 inches. Yours can be 16 depending on the size. All right, so next I'm going to draft my chest line, which is 8 inches, and then my nipple point is 10 inches. On the bust is going to be 12 inches. Okay, so that's it for our horizontal lines. Afterwards, I'm going to go ahead and then draw the lines for our chest line, nipple point, on the bust, and then waistline. You can call it half length as well. So next, I'm going to draft our shoulder. Here I'm using 7 inches. I'll also measure 7 inches our chest at the chest line, and then I'll connect it together. Afterwards, I'll go down by 1 inch for our shoulder slope, and then for the neckline, I'm using 2 inches, 2 3/4 inch. Okay, you can use 2.5, all right, but I don't recommend you using 3, but you can use 3 if you want to. So you can use 2.5, 3 inches is fine. It will make the Queen Anne neck to come out very nice. You know, when it's tight at the back and then it widens in front, it makes it more beautiful. Okay, so for the armhole, I just went down by 3.5 inches. That's divide the length what you have there by 2, and then I went out by half inches and then form our armhole. So here is number 1 trick. Okay, for our Queen Anne neck, we need about 2 lines. Now let me just try to explain what I mean by 2 lines. For the circle or for a round neck, you just need 2 lines, or let me say 1 line. Okay, the first one and then the down part, that's you just measure it. Okay, now for this Queen Anne neck, let me show you. This is what we're trying to achieve. Okay, so this is the line that I just made in dotted form. That's what I mean by 2 lines. So you need to measure what you want for those 2 lines to form this beautiful Queen Anne neck. Okay, so we are going to be illustrating this on the pattern irrespective of the bustier. Okay, so now you can go up by 2 inches from your chest line depending on how much cleavages you want to show. But for this tutorial, I don't want to show a lot of cleavages. I want it to be modest, so I will not be going up by 2 inches. So I will be determining my 2 lines by using 5.5 inches for the first one, and then the second one is going to be 7.5 inches. Do we get that? So that's the 2 lines I'm talking about. You can choose to use 6 inches for your first one and then use 8 inches for the second line. That's where you want the curve to stop. Okay, depending on how much cleavages you want to reveal. So next, I'll be taking out my nipple to nipple, which is going to serve our vertical line. Okay, so I'm using 3 3/4 in this place. So we are going to be drafting that from our chest line to the waistline. So yeah, I'm marking 1 inches at the left side of the under bust and then 1.5 inches at the right side of the other bust. Then for the waist, I'll be taking half inches or 1/4 inch, okay, and 1 inch at the other side. You can as well choose to take 1 inches at your waistline, okay, to form the same thing with your under bust, and it's going to be a straight line. But for me, I'm choosing this method. Okay, if you do that, it's also fine. So at the nipple point, I'm going to be going down by like half an inch, and then I will now connect the whole thing together. Sorry, the video is a little bit blurry, but if you are watching with your phone, kindly make the screen to be full. That way you are going to be able to have a perfect view of it. So still on our bustier, on the upper part, I'm going to measure 1/4 inch on the left side and then 1 inch on the right side. You can as well use 1 inch on both sides if you choose to, but for perfect bustier, for me, I choose to make it unequal. Okay, I'll just use a dotted line for the beginning. I'm still going to use my marker to make a perfect illustration. So next, I will connect my neck to the bustier. Okay, so that one is going to form the first line, you know what I explained earlier. Okay, then I'll connect the curvy part that is going to make the Queen Anne. So this is how to draft the perfect Queen Anne. This is one trick. Okay, you see here I have about 1.5 inch. You can also have 2 inches depending on how narrow you want that part to be. Now I'll be taking out allowance for the dart, so I'm coming out by 1/4 inch, okay, to form the new armhole. Please take note of that when drafting. You don't want to have a tiny bust line at the end of the day, so make sure you give allowance for the dart. You don't need to give like so much. You can give 1, okay, 1 inches or so. That one is perfectly okay. Now we are going to have another dart, so I'll be coming down by 1/2 inch from this place to form the dart. We don't want to have a bulkiness at the chest line after sewing. Okay, you can choose to use 1/4 inch if the person is much more busty. So after that, we are going to measure our bust, our under bust, and also our waist. Please take note that when measuring your under bust, you must make sure you add a dart allowance. That's, you measure what you have at your dart and add it. So you don't want to end up with a wrong measurement. Okay, so what you have at your waist, so we have 1.5 here. I'm going to add it to my measurement. So afterwards, we just go ahead and cut. So while drafting, we didn't add any sewing allowance, so you must add your sewing allowance when cutting it on your fabric. So here you can see I've added 1/2 inch sewing allowance to everything except the side of my bustier, or the sides, because I have added sewing allowance when measuring that. Please take note, this is just an illustration. I'm not making a full dress, just to illustrate how to achieve a Queen Anne neckline. So I'll be making use of this fabric and I will not be padding it completely. So I'll just be using the soft stay for the interfacing, okay, to pad them in. When you are doing yours, make use of a hair stay or cloth stay and your wording. You can as well use cup if you choose to, so whatever thing you want to. If you want me to make a video on how to pad your bustier, like different method, let me know in the comment section. Okay, I'm going to make sure I'll make a video on that. So I'll just go ahead to sew, so just watch me as I do it. So if you have watched this video to this point, congratulations, because I'm about to reveal 3 tips and tricks for you to achieve the perfect Queen Anne neckline with bustier. Number 1, your dart. Measure the right bustier dart, then take a dart at the side and also a dart at the neckline. That's the 1/2 inch that we took. I didn't take a side dart. Please, while doing your own, make sure that you take out a side dart, 1 inch, 1.5, anyone. Now here is the second tip. For you to achieve a perfect Queen Anne neckline, make sure that you determine the 2 lines for the neckline correctly. It must be 2 inches or 3 inches away from each other. Okay, it shouldn't go below 2 inches, so that you're going to have this sweetheart curve that is usually in the Queen Anne neckline. Now thirdly, for the width of your neckline at the shoulder, don't go beyond 3 inches at fold, like when you folded it. Now you can use 3.5 inches maybe when the person is fatter. Okay. So here is our Queen Anne neckline with bustier. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching to this point. See you in my next video. Bye.